Hello you wonderful people. Today we take a cheap joint of beef and using a firm favourite of mine, Guinness, make a delicious hearty stew. What's even better than this? It's served alongside dumplings with a twist. Stilton! And obviously some silky, creamy mashed potato, a perfect dish for this time of the year. And what's better, it can all be done the night before if you wish. Before I take you through the recipe, please, your engagement means a lot to me as an up and coming YouTuber. Please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. What recipe should I make next? We're going to start with the beef. This joint was around 1.5 kilograms and the cheapest brand within the supermarket, so it really doesn't matter. Start by removing the fat before slicing and dicing into generous large chunks. The size of the chunk and the length of the slow cook will determine how tender your meat is in this case. I wanted the beef to cook overnight, so around 14 hours in the slow cooker, so my chunks has to be quite large. After creating my chunks of beef, they were then coated in a mix of flour and seasoning. There's two reasons for this really, is to season the meat upon burning and keep those wonderful meaty flavours locked in, but as explained in an earlier video, it does help to also thicken the gravy within the stew. Start by melting some butter and then browning the beef off in batches to save overloading the pan. This is going on a very long slow cook, so we only need to sear a couple of minutes maximum. Obviously, if you're going to do this over the hob, on the same day, you can afford to spend a little more time browning your meat. Once browned, again, I'm going to melt some butter in the pan before adding some sliced onion and softening this onion through. Return your beef to the pan, and unlike me who's an idiot that forgot to check the camera was filming, add a bottle of Guinness and then cover the beef and the onions with enough beef stock to thoroughly coat the beef and ensure enough stock throughout the cooking process. Obviously, if you do start to run a little low and you're cooking it over the hob, do feel free to add more stock. Whilst cooking this beef for a while, to let the flavours incorporate, we're going to peel and roughly chop some carrots. I'm going to add this to the final mixture before covering, then either cooking low and slow for a couple of hours on the hob or until the meat breaks with a slightest touch of a fork, or like myself, put it in the slow cooker for anywhere up to 12 to 14 hours. When your stew is almost ready, the next day or a few hours later, the meat should be tender. It should literally break apart at the slightest touch. We're going to start prepping our other sides, our creamy mashed potato and Stilton dumplings. To allow the dumplings to cook first, we're going to prepare these now. My dumplings are suet based, so we're going to take our suet and self-raising flour, following the packet suggestion. Now usually this is around 2 to 1 self-raising flour to suet. We're going to add a couple of tablespoons of water and mix through and decide whether the mixture is too dry and therefore add a little bit more water. Alternatively, if you've been a little bit overzealous, add some more self-raising flour bit by bit to make sure your mixture is not too wet. Once these ingredients have been incorporated, we're going to obviously add a little bit of salt and pepper to season, and we can add our chopped and diced Stilton to the mixture. We then shape these into dumplings, size of choice, and add these to the stew. Cook on high for around 30 to 40 minutes. Whilst all this is finally cooking, we're going to continue and finish our dish with our mashed potato. We'll peel and dice some red potatoes. Red potatoes are fantastic for creamy mashed potato as they're less starchy, they're considered waxy and are perfect for that silky smooth finish. Boil the potatoes after obviously washing. I did miss that step unfortunately. So after washing your potatoes, you're going to put them on to boil. When they're ready, a knife should pierce through with relative ease. We're then going to drain and steam dry the potato for a little while. Now, you've got a few options here. You can just mash away. You know, add a little bit of butter, mash it away. I mean, my parents used to use milk. However, I usually put it through a ricer and then mix with butter and cream if I'm running short on time. However, if you really want that perfect smooth finish, pass it through a ricer, then pass it through a sieve using a spatula, and then start your mixing process. Firstly, we're going to add some lots of copious amounts of cold butter, and we're going to stir that through the mash. And once that's melted, we're going to add around 100 ml of double cream that has been warmed through. You might want to do this bit by bit to ensure you get the consistency that you wish. Once it's complete, it should be silky, smooth and completely lump free. Wow, that's quite a few steps for this meal. However, it sure is worth it. Ignore the shocking camera work on today's video and instead remember to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. How do you think I've done? What do you add to your dumplings? Have you got a better stew combination? Serve the beautiful rich beef and Guinness stew topped with a couple of the Stilton dumplings, a generous helping of that beautifully creamy and smooth mash, and of course, what's a stew without red cabbage? Talking about which, have you seen my simple recipe for red cabbage? This stew is an absolute must for the cold winter evenings. Stick it in the slow cooker, put your feet up and enjoy those rich, deep flavours. Obviously, if you're like me, serve it with more Guinness on the side. Don't forget, wherever or whenever you're viewing this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, share and subscribe. If you're on social media, hit me with that follow. If you're on YouTube, click the links to the right to see more of my delicious recipes. And again, click that subscribe button and give the notification bell a ring to be informed of future content. Comment below what's on your plates this evening.